Listen in on this snippet of us exploring belief systems during our productive time in quarantine.
Throughout our lives, we collect facts as evidence that legitimize our beliefs, which then become more deeply ingrained in our systems. Repetitive patterns of thinking and holding on to the same expectations eventually transform opinions into beliefs. In the early stages, beliefs tend to be flexible, but over time, they become rigid and inflexible. Finally, there reaches a point whereby beliefs become so strong that despite repeated evidence to the contrary, we're no longer willing to consider a fresh perspective. As a child, Peter may have been fat and ridiculed at school. He may have felt embarrassed and had a low opinion of himself as a fat child. Since he grew up, he may now be lean, fit, and strong. However, in his mind, he may still think of himself as an unattractive person. That's kind of like, to me, I'm thinking, you know, how people who kind of grew up in a impoverished neighborhood, and you know how they say, you know, you can take the person
Out of the
situation,
but the situation not out of the person.
Yeah.
Because it still takes a mind change.
Yeah,
it still takes a mind change in order to be able to grow past where you see yourself a lot of times. Just like we were talking. And then who's in your circle too can kind of pull that out of you, and you feel comfortable about talking about your past to get you to a point where you're able to open up and you're able to see past those thoughts that have been in your mind for so long that now those thoughts, I don't have to live by those thoughts anymore. I can see myself going past those thoughts, but it takes time for a lot of people to get to that point. As you grow up and as you, like I said, grow around different people, get in a different circle than what you may have grown up in, you can see people who are thriving and flourishing, and they are willing to give you help. They're willing to kind of mentor you into you being who God created you to be. But it's some things that people can pour into you that you need. Everybody needs somebody who they can get and gain information from for their betterment. So I think that as we grow and get comfortable in situations or get around people who are not afraid to welcome you in, that's another thing. That's why we should be welcoming to anybody who may come in, because we never know who that person may end up being just because of a kind word, just because of a kind gesture that you do for them. It can change their lives. They can become what God ordained them to become anyway, but with your encouraging words, it can kind of point them in that direction a little sooner. So.
And you know, that's why to me diversity is important too, not just in ethnic background, but different type, you know, diversity in every area, because you know, if you're not exposed to differences and different things, then all you think is right is what you've been in. And even for a mindset shift or mindset change, you need to be exposed to something different to be able to change your thinking or change, you know, what you're believing, and it could be a limiting belief as being discussed in here.
One thing that we did, we would go out and look at houses that were way above the position that we were currently in. We would go out and we would actually call the people up, go in and do the whole spiel to see how much it is and all of that. But I think that was breaking the cycle of just being stuck where you are, going above and beyond, seeing God do bigger and better things in your life. And then just, if you don't see it, you won't know that it's possible. So, and in that, it's the same thing. If you don't dare to engage with people who are
different than
you, and all differences financially, physically, like where you are currently to where you see yourself going. There are people in that gap who are meant to bring you up. But if all you see is people who are where you currently are, that's where you'll currently, or that's where you'll continue to be.
That's where you'll stay.
Yeah.
And that's why I like to hear when people say, try to have a sphere of influence be people you feel like, oh, they're at a place that I kind of would want to be, and not people who are, I don't want to say lower level, but like if you want to be a real estate guru, have lots of houses, or you want to be a lawyer, surround yourself around people who are doing what you aspire to do, so you can kind of learn what they do.
And not saying that you're going to try to be who that person is and do everything that they do to get to where they are. But there are things that they can, or information that they can give you that can get you to your place of destiny faster than they got to their place of destiny, because they've already been there. So it makes no sense to not lean on people who are already where you want to be. Again, not saying you're trying to be like that person, but you can definitely get information from them that can help you in your
destination. Yeah. But then I believe it's very important, as once you get to a certain level, to make sure you reach back and you give back. That give back is very important, because there was a time that you weren't exposed to specific things, and without the help of people who had an opportunity or took the time to impart in you or provide you with some information, you wouldn't be where you are. So it's very important to always do that give back, and I think that's part of the spiritual gifts. Whatever gift God has given you, once you get to a place where you're able to function in your gift, then you definitely need to make sure that you're using your gift to help impact somebody else. So to help someone else come out of a specific situation, whether it's that gift or just you seeing where there needs to be support, or mentorship, or helping somebody be accountable. I think that's very important. So, okay. Beliefs determine what you will and will not try, and therefore they also determine the types of goals that you set for yourself. Very often we are not inclined to push ourselves out of our comfort zone, what we feel that we can achieve, because our beliefs are preventing us from expecting more from ourselves. The expectations, limitations, and labels that we put on ourselves are based on our internal belief system. If you've been impacted by a mentor or a kind gesture that changed your life or mindset, please like, subscribe, and comment to encourage someone along their journey.